So I am Jennifer Hodges. I serve as the Vice President of the Whole Child Initiative at KIPP Chicago. I joined KIPP Chicago in August of 2019 to launch and lead the Whole Child Initiative. It is rooted in KIPP Chicago becoming an anti-racist organization, as well as supporting the social and emotional development of students, parents, and teachers. There are 7 priorities of Whole Child, and they all work in an integrated and interconnected way to support the whole child. So there's parent identity, making sure teachers are happy and making sure children have the tools that they need to be successful overall. I'm very excited today to just go deeper on the conversation that Stedman and I have been having around what it means to support parents, right? We always want our students to believe they can live a life of choice, but it's also important that parents know that they too can live a life of choice. So I'm going to read Stedman's bio, and then I know you don't want to hear from me, so I'll get out real quick. So Stedman is a business advisor, chairman, and CEO of S. Graham and Associates, a management and marketing consulting firm. He is the author of 12 books, including 2 New York Times bestsellers and 1 Wall Street Journal bestseller. As a businessman, educator, and speaker, Graham lectures and conducts training programs for corporations and educational organizations worldwide on the topic of identity leadership, based on the philosophy that one cannot lead anyone else until you first lead yourself. He has delivered identity leadership programs in the Netherlands, Germany, China, Canada, the UK, Bermuda, and South Africa. His proven 9-step success process drives his powerful language. This success process is based on the principle that it doesn't matter how the world defines you, it only matters how you define yourself. Graham is honored as a distinguished visiting professor at colleges and universities throughout the country. He is a former adjunct professor at the Northwestern College Kellogg School of Business, where he taught the course, The Dynamics of Leadership. Stedman Graham has served in the United States Army and played professional basketball in the European League. Graham holds a bachelor's degree in social work from Hardin-Simmons University and a master's degree in education from Ball State University, and has been awarded 3 honorary doctorates. Graham serves on several boards and has received numerous awards. Let's welcome Stedman Graham.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Jennifer, it's a pleasure to work with you, and April and Ms. Stern, thank you so much for making all of this happen. Appreciate it very much. I teach identity leadership, which I've kind of dedicated my life to doing this because it's just a reflection of my journey and also my freedom, my ability to free myself from the world that tries to basically put you in a box and control your own existence. And there's a process for that. So I think that most people, when we talk about self-development and self-empowerment, will never get that. It's not even set up for them to get that. And you can imagine millions of people basically are being marginalized all around the world. And they get exposed to education, and they think that's the end all. And it really is just the beginning. It's just a small snippet of what's possible for you as a human being. And what is possible for you? Anybody? This is interactive, okay? What's possible for you is everything you can imagine. Wow. And you can eliminate race and gender and circumstances and background. Anything you can imagine, you can actually create. But there is a process for that. And nobody wants you to have that process. Because if you get that process, what happens? You become part of the powerful. There's only two choices. There's the powerful against the powerless. That's all it is. Those who know and those who don't. And there's a huge gap, which is why you have now the 1%, it's way up here. And the 99% is what? Way down here. That's a huge gap between the 1%, those who understand how it really works, and those who don't. The gap is like, wow. All over the world, same thing. And it's because there's a lack of information and there's a lack of mindset around getting people to understand how it all works. And do you think it's done on purpose? Wow, wouldn't that be a wonderful thing to be able to control the rest of the world? And we just got our little piece up here and we just run everything. And everybody, all they do is just work. And they serve what? A small percentage of the people. And we don't want you to be really a part of the good old boys club or good old girls club. And we love you to focus on race as a foundation for your marginalization. And we love for you to focus on gender as a way to marginalize yourself. And we love for you to be a victim. And we love for you to be able to not understand how to utilize a capitalistic system or the American free enterprise system to create and design your own future. And we love for you to be able not to understand how to take information, education, make it relevant to your heart and soul, transfer it to your mind so you become a thinking human being, you actually engage in the world that you live in, and then transfer that to the American free enterprise system and the global marketplace today to create your own world. Nobody wants you to do that. Because if you do that, what happens? Man, you don't have to worry about any labels. You don't even have to worry about this. You wake up in the morning, you wash your face, you brush your teeth, you get something to eat, you get the kids off to school, work all day, come home in the afternoon, spend time with the family, watch TV, you go to bed, maybe dream. That's Monday. You don't even have to worry about on Tuesday, waking up in the morning, wash your face, brush your teeth, get something to eat, get the kids off school, work all day, come home in the afternoon, spend time with the family, watch TV, you go to bed, maybe you dream. That's Tuesday. And you don't even have to worry about on Wednesday, along with the other 8 billion people in the world who are doing what? They get up in the morning and wash their face, they brush their teeth, they get something to eat, they get the kids off school, work all day, come home in the afternoon, spend time with the family, they watch TV, they go to bed, maybe they dream. That's Wednesday. And then can you predict what they're going to do on Thursday? And then on Friday, they what? They go to happy hour. Then Saturday, they do what? They wash, they clean up, they get the kids off the activities. Saturday night, they go out. Sunday, a lot of people go to church. They eat chicken dinners in the afternoon. And they get ready for what? Work, 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 work. And they give it all away. And they have nothing for themselves. A lot of people, they have no more in the end than they had in the beginning. You've been working 30 or 40 years. You have no more in the end than you had in the beginning. What happened? And so the missing piece for 8 billion people in the world who are pretty much what? Don't know who they are, lost, not thinking, no engagement, focusing on the outside world as a way to define their existence, right? Labeled by race and told you can't make it because of the color of your skin, which is a socially constructed design box that you're in that marginalizes your existence, and then you buy into it. That becomes your story. And then the world defines you by, again, all the external things, the house, the car, the money, the title, the religion, all those things that do what? Make you think that's who you are. And we go to school, and what happens in school, y'all? How long do we stay in school? How much money do we spend on school, on education? And we get a degree, we got the degree. I got a degree. Man. I've been taught how to memorize, take tests, repeat the information back, get labeled with a grade. 2 weeks later, if you ask me what I learned, what would we say? I don't know. I don't know. And so if we're doing the same thing over and over every single day, which is nothing, everything we learn we forget, which is nothing. Nothing from nothing is nothing. So if you just happen to be able to be fortunate enough to know who you are, if you can just get that, and what's that mean? To know your value, to know that the value that you give yourself is the value the world gives you. The world sees you as you see yourself. And so growing up with low self-esteem and a lack of confidence in myself, man, what does that look like walking through the door? With two special need brothers dealing with the trauma and the pain of that, being teased all the time in school, beat up, beating people up, mad, angry, because I have no way to self-actualize my potential and nobody to support that self-actualization. Parents don't know. They're doing the best they can based on what they know. If they know better, they've known better, they've done better. They don't know. And so you get stuck in that box and there's kind of no way out, and you just, that storyboard goes around and around and around, and you're really operating from your unconscious. So a big aha moment for me was understanding the consciousness versus the unconscious. And we're run by our unconscious, which means we're run by our old way of thinking. They're called habits. And we get stuck in those habits. And unless we change our consciousness and begin to program ourselves differently, we go back to the same comfortable place all of the time. And most of it's pain. Most of it's historical baggage and what we've been taught or what we've been programmed to do. And so it took me a long time to realize, wow, it's not about your family circumstances. It's not about, your race-based consciousness, which I had a race-based consciousness. I thought it was about race. It took me 31 years before I realized, no, it's not about the color of your skin. I was traveling around with this guy named Bob Brown. We're traveling all over the world. And I realized that people of color were making it happen all over the world. And so I realized, coming from this small town, that I was stuck in a mindset. And I realized about 31 years of age, I said to myself, oh, you got it all wrong. Boy, you had it wrong for a long time. It's not about the color of your skin. Your problem is you don't know who you are. And then, I met a woman in Chicago. You might have heard of her. I talked about her a little bit. What do you think her name is? Anybody know her name? Anybody doesn't know her name, okay? Miss Winfrey. And boy, that in a relationship with a very powerful woman, and you're a man in a relationship with a very powerful woman, and you're public, and everywhere you go, people what? Put you in a box, and they define you, and you're public. I mean, you can go to London, and people say, oh, aren't you Oprah's man? Yeah, I am. And so you lose your what? Identity, which is how I got to doing what I do. Because I had to define my own existence. I had to find it for myself. And there's nobody really to help you find it. You got the circumstances around you, so it doesn't make you comfortable. That's why you can find it. Because every time you step out the door, you're reminded of it. So you have to what? You have to figure out, how do I survive this? I got all these folks, including y'all, in my business, right? How do I now design my own program for myself? And so you got 3 systems in place. You got a failed system. Failed is what? Drugs, alcohol, no thinking, no education, no support. You pretty much, your destination is determined, or your future is determined. It's going to be failed, okay? Then you got an average system. I just talked about the average system, which is what? Wake up in the morning, you want me to say it again? Wake up in the morning, wash your face, brush your teeth, go to sleep. That's the average system. Wow. If you're lucky to get the advanced system. So the advanced system is understanding how to take information in education and apply it to who you are. I want y'all to get this. So you get a chance to be able to organize. Order is the highest level of development. So that means everything is in, the world works in order, okay? So order, organizing relevant information that you can apply to your personal and professional development. And focus, take that information and focus that information on your talents, your skills, your ability, and the key to this is transforming your energy. So the key to my success always is being able to transform my energy. From what? From negative, the foundation of my existence is negative. Understand me now, because this is real, I want to make this real clear. That the foundation of my existence is negative. Because of my childhood, because of my historical background, because of what I was feeding, that household that I lived in for 18 years, we're all dealing with the same issues, and we become negative. The foundation of my existence is negative, which means my energy is basically wants to go looking at the glass half empty before it looks at the glass half full. I'm focusing on what I can't do as opposed to what I can do, okay? So if the foundation of my existence is negative, what's that mean? Anybody? It means my perspective and every choice I make is going to be what? Marginalized. You follow me? So the goal in my life is to transform my energy from negative to positive and try to have control over the way I feel, which seeps down into my subconscious. You follow what I'm saying? So that I do what? So that pain and negativity doesn't become a design for my existence or every decision that I make in my life. You follow what I'm saying? So I have to be disruptive in my own comfortable feelings. If I'm sitting down in the chair, I have a tendency to do what? Go negative as opposed to going what? Positive, because I'm not even aware of it. So unless I have a process that's really active, which means that unless I can write it down, organize it, and have a process I can work on continuously, right, where I can have a bigger vision than my circumstances, I have a tendency to go back there. You haven't left the pain. The pain is still where? And you can pull it up when? Anytime. So what I have to do is manage the process or manage the pain so that the pain doesn't become a design for my choices in my life. So I'm all the time interrupting those old habits and that old thinking that takes me back to that old place, which is really not relevant in the 21st century today. Because the opportunities now, we have technology as a way to do what? Play with that. So, first steps you got to have in developing your identity, and this is how you develop your identity. This is a powerful exercise, and I want you not only to do this for yourself, I want you to do this for your kids and your family. So if you want to empower your family, this is what you do. You take a sheet of paper and you write down everything you love. Okay? Take a sheet of paper and write down everything you love in your life. How many things? Now I have 200 things that I love, that I'm self-actualizing. Okay, so I get a chance to utilize the global marketplace, organize the culture of everything I love and everything I'm passionate about, and apply it to my own personal life in the 24 hours I have every single day, which is what makes us all equal. Everybody has 24 hours. What's the question? How organized are you in those 24 hours? What's relevant to your empowerment? Okay? So, what did I just do? Somebody feed me back what I'm talking about for the first step of the 9-step success process. I have 9 steps. I'm going to take you through real quick. That's in that book, Identity Leadership. First step is you have to focus on love as the foundation for your development. Now, you can have negativity as the basis of your development. What's going to happen? Law of attraction says whatever you put out, what? You get back. So I'm talking about your energy. So when you put out negative energy, what's going to happen? It's going to feed itself. It's going to follow something that's negative. And it's going to be in your life because of that. So to control that energy field or energy that's going out, you have to do what? You got to change your thinking, right? It's your thinking that I'm concerned about. Your thinking's off. They used to say to me, your thinking's off. You don't think, you know, the way you think is not relevant to your development. You become self-destructive. You become your own worst what? Enemy. So you're programming yourself more than anybody else can program you based on negativity. So what we have to do is disrupt that. So the idea of being able to write down everything we love, right, on a piece of paper, and then begin to self-actualize that, which is Maslow's highest level of development is what? Self-actualization. Why don't we ever get to self-actualization? Why don't we ever get there, somebody? And it's not designed for us to get there because the learning system is backwards. You follow what I'm saying? So because the learning system is backwards, the arrows are going out this way, and all you do is give everything away to everybody else, and you create nothing for yourself, the core of your existence never gets what? Developed. So because the core of your existence never gets developed, then you never get the chance to find out who you are, what your talents are, what your skills are, what you love. You're never focusing on coming from the inside to the outside. We're always going to the outside. Look at my car. Wow. Look at my house. Look at my bank account. Look at, you know, all the external things that have nothing to do with what? Who you really are. So the beautiful thing about organizing what you love, that's what you love. And love is what? What does love do? Love attracts what? Beauty, opportunity. You create a growth mindset. You'll hear, fixed mindset versus growth mindset, right? Fixed mindset is what? You're not going anywhere. You're not even doing anything. You're not even working. What are you working on? What are you actually building? You're not, pieces of the puzzle, you're not even putting them together. So organizing all your passions, everything you love, all your talents, your skills, that's the foundation for thinking, developing, building, learning, organizing, developing. Got it? That's simple. Second step. Okay, I'm motivated every day. Wow. Man, I got a life. Finally, I got a life. Because I'm working on what? My self-actualization. You know, I'm finally building something as opposed to struggling every day, trying to put it together, waiting on somebody else to do what? Give it to me. Never going to happen. They're going to match you if you do what? If you work on yourself and develop something, they're going to do what? Oh, man, I just love what you do. Can we partner? Can we work together? Can we align ourselves together? Can we create something? 1 + 1 is what? 8. Because you got 10 other partnerships. Because you're clear, you have clarity on where you're going and how you're going to get there. You can communicate effectively. Second step is you got to have a vision. Why is vision so powerful? Because without it, what happens? You're going where? You're not going forward, you're going where? The world's just taking you over because you can't see beyond your circumstances. So when they talk about poverty, poverty is not having a vision. It's doing the same thing over and over every day. You're just working and working and working and working. You can't see beyond your circumstances. You can't create the global marketplace. You can't get beyond the victimization of your past. I'm not concerned about your past, and I'm not concerned about where you are. I'm concerned about where you're going to be. And you don't even have to have any money but vision. You can say, you can create the structure of vision. You can say, you know what, I'm in the education business. I'm in the educational technology business, and I'm at this conference. And I have a vision for my work. And I have a global vision. How big should your resources be? They're right here. How big should your opportunities be? How big should your relationships be? How strong should they be? They're right here. So you organize, and you just walk in and say, I got this vision, I got this idea. Everything starts with a thought. It's all about the ideas. What ideas can you create that will allow us to now organize a process for developing who I am as a person? The vision is powerful. That's your social economic development. So your money's tied to your vision. Small vision, small what? Small money, big vision, big money. Okay. I got your attention on that one, right? Third step, okay, man, I organize in everything I love. I'm able to take this tool, the internet, make it relevant to digital empowerment, apply it to everything I love in my life. I got health, I got family, I got relationship, I got work, I got hobbies, I got tennis, I got golf, I got all those things that I want to create in my life. Writing it down, organizing it, self-actualizing, empowering it. I have a vision, global, I'm global. Everything is global because it's scalable, right? Okay, then I have to lay out a plan, which is the third step. You got to write it down on a piece of paper because you have 50,000 thoughts going through your mind every single day. You can't remember everything. You don't have you can't file, this is not a file cabinet where you can file 50,000 things in it. You need to be able to write it down, organize it, and be able to figure out how to influence your plan. Fourth step, master the rules of the road, your value system. You need a value system, which will allow you to do what? Be sustainable over a long period of time. Because most people, when they get successful, what do? Y'all know what happened last week? You blow up. Do something crazy because your value system is what? It's not, you can't sustain yourself because your values are off. So value system, trust, hard work, determination, all the values that you can create that will allow you to sustain yourself over a long period of time so that when the obstacles come, what happens? You're able to overcome them and keep on the right track. Step 5, step into the outer limits, overcoming your fears. What are your barriers to success? What will hold you back? How many barriers to success are they? Man, mother and father said I wasn't nothing and was never going to be anything. Didn't grow up with a father. I'm trying to validate myself. Don't have a focus in terms of a profession. Don't have a career path. What are the barriers to success? Angry all the time. Can't get along with folks. So how many barriers? A lot of barriers to success, okay? Overcoming your fears. How do you overcome your fears? Just one small step at a time, okay? Step 6, pilot the seasons of change, which we're going through right now. How many changing circumstances are we dealing with? We're dealing with climate control. We're dealing with, we're dealing with the economy. We're dealing with the war. We're dealing with, the pandemic, of course, for the last several years. So the question is, what is your internal capacity to deal with change? How strong are you? Nobody cares about your weakness. Only the strong survive, as they say. Step 7, build your dream team. Got to have a team. You cannot make it by yourself. So you need a team, and your team is always predicated on what? Law of attraction. Whatever you put out comes back. If you're a strong leader, you attract a strong team. If you're a weak leader, you attract a weak team. Favorite step, Damon, my favorite step is win by decision. It's really about learning this is what changed my life. I learned that how important, I was a pretty good reader, learn how important reading is. You're not going to make it if you don't read. It's just very simple. You have to read, 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 read. You have to be a reader. Oprah probably reads, how many books does she read? Probably 5 books a week. I mean, she just got an award for reading, for literacy, promoting literacy. Let me tell her I may be wrong, okay? So her ability to be able to understand the power of information and knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, people don't want you smart. They don't want you to read anything. They don't want you to know anything. When you learn how to take information, and this applies to every person here, and apply it, you become a cognitive learner, and apply it to who you are, to what you love, to your passion, to your purpose in life, your life will change. Because you get to develop a process of continuous improvement every day. You get better today than you were yesterday based on what? Based on knowledge. Be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind, and the people perish because of the lack of what? Knowledge. Okay? Last step, commit to your vision. So I talked about identity, I talked about vision, I talked about planning. It doesn't mean one thing unless when you walk out the door, what's going to happen? You got 99% of the people, you got 8 billion people in the world who are going to try to do what? Man, what you doing in that room? What you doing thinking? What you got a thought? You're trying to grow what? The business? What? You better get back in your what? They're going to try to pull you down, keep you in the box, right? When you start to develop yourself and start to think, and when you start to self-actualize, nobody wants that. They want to control and marginalize your existence, okay? So last step is, again, commit to your vision. Before I go to questions, this is kind of what we're talking about. Some of you might have heard of this poem. I'm going to end with this before we go to questions. It's by William Ernest Henley, Invictus. You've heard of that before? Okay. Out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstances, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. Yet the menace of the year shall find me and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul. Thank y'all very much for the opportunity to be here. Thank you so much.
It's so nice. It's a full room. I didn't see that. Okay. So we have about 5 minutes for questions. I know you all want to get your books signed, so Stedman will sign the books in the lobby over here by the escalator. So you can meet us there, and he'll sign the book. But for now, are there any questions? I think we have enough maybe to take about 2.
Thank you. Thank you for those points. I'm really challenged by your perception of race and poverty not really being factors or boundaries. And I say that because you acknowledge the 1%, people making choices, and those same people are making decisions about what access people have based on their race and based on their socioeconomic status. So how does a child growing up in an environment where people are making decisions for them and preventing access to certain things, how does that person become self-actualized?
You have to have a curriculum to be able to do that. It's not the way it's set up. It's really just to teach you math and science and history and all those things and reading to prepare you. But if you want self-empowerment information, that's a whole nother program. It's a whole nother mindset. And because you're only as good as your thinking. And so, I mean, it's why I've dedicated my life to teaching that, because, with what I'm doing, there's no labels. Forget all the labels. Forget your circumstances, what happened. That's, you can deal with them consciously, but what we want you to be able to do is create a whole new you based on what's possible for you. And you're obviously strong and smart. You have presence, you have all of that. So once you understand how to work on yourself, how to organize information around you and find out how to make that relevant to what you really should be doing in life, the question I would ask you is, what's your one word? What's the one word that's going to take you to the next level? Mine would be identity. Mine could be health. Mine could be education. So whatever your word is. But that's what we need to get back to in the schools, is to be able to figure out how to supplement the existing curriculum with what they're already learning, which is why we do what we do. And we're trying to start with the parents as a way to get the parents to understand who they are so we can now have them help their children. That's a long answer. I apologize for that.
Well, thank you, and I want to acknowledge you for the impact that you are. My vision, really, my name is Freedom, like free, and I'm of the House of Mandela. And who I am is somebody who is committed to a world that is free. And Tata used to mention that education was the passport to leadership. And when we look at identity, it looks like you have touched on something that could fundamentally transform the world. What if we could create the true research university, where it's not the university as we know it today? I got a domain called research.university, and the idea was, what if there could be, like, everybody can become their own university in the future?
Yeah, I think it's going to probably move to that. I mean, I did it, boy, it taken me a long time to understand how to do this. And I was doing it for myself. So it forced me to be able to go within myself to find out, how can you advance beyond all of the stuff that I'm dealing with? And so I don't think that many people have that many experiences like I have. And so I'm fortunate and blessed to be able to do it for myself and then share it with other folks to be able to get them to know how to self-actualize their potential and eliminate all of the external junk that keeps them in that box and makes them think they can't do it. Because the process of success, this is a very important point. What I learned is that the process of success is the same for everybody. The process is the same. Once you understand the process of success and how it works, man, and you can apply that to the greatest thing about this country, it's focused on capitalism. It's not, in other countries, a lot of countries are state-supported capitalism. With this country, you can come in this country and not even be a citizen and make $1 million. Start your own business. That's a great thing. So to be able to figure out how to, again, make it relevant, all the information, all the resources, all the opportunities, and now you have this, iPhone, take that and organize the cultures of what's relevant to your empowerment. And be clear on what that is and work on that every single day. Doesn't allow you to be manipulated by the outside world. And then you can take the capitalistic system and figure out the American free enterprise system and how to work it and infuse that into, just like they're doing at the conference right here. A lot of folks doing pretty good here. And make that relevant to your ideas, your creativity, your soul, your passion, your purpose in life, where you rise above those systems that are in place to do what? To make you think that you're not good enough, or to have you become a victim of your circumstances. That's the piece. And it may not be in a system, may not be in a college system, but it's the system that you can seek out, find for yourself, so that you can take care of yourself. Can you take care of yourself, and then can you take care of your family? So the more you have, the more you can get back to and serve other people. That's who you should be. And anybody else in here, that's who we should be. Yes?
You mentioned when you were 31, that was when you had this realization, you transitioned from like a mindset of fear or negativity to kind of love and positivity, right?
Yeah.
What would you say catalyzed that mindset shift internally? Like what switch did you have to make internally?
Yeah, well, internally, just imagine my thinking's off, right? So you're not a thinking human being. You don't really understand the value of information education. You have some experiences. I'm following a guy named Bob Brown who I'm working for, and he's traveling all over the world. He's the first gentleman to ever see Nelson Mandela in Portsmouth prison. He's special assistant to President Nixon. He's done a lot of things, helped set up the Nigerian government, that kind of thing. So he was a role model for me. So I get to learn on-the-job training based on what in the world is this? What is this guy? Who is he? So when I started to have the awareness, it's not about my color, because I was hung up on color. See, I'm thinking it's about race. So when you think it's about race, what happens? Anybody? What happens when you just focus on race? Then that's where everything goes to that. So for me to be able to eliminate that in my life, that was a big thing based on understanding that, I could get that. That's a barrier to success. And then later on down the road, I picked up something else. And then I learned a lot from the people I was around. I did a comparative analysis between Oprah's influence and people that I grew up with and all of that, and there was a big difference. It was the difference between thinking, focusing on themselves, focusing on what they're good at, focusing on their strengths and talents and all of that, and that's what they focused on. And when they got better at it and became an expert in it, then they shared that gift with the world. And I said, that's the process for it. So it's a journey. It's not a destination, it's a journey over a long period of time. And then I created my own process for myself, and this is how I got to write books and talk about it and put it into the schools and everything else. Because again, the process of success is the same for everybody.
Thank you, Stedman. Can we give Stedman a round of applause?
Thank you so much. Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much.